Welcome back to Copaltra's podcast show. And despite everything that I've said after the victory against Frankfurt and the big win that we had, and I actually posed this question whereby are we going to keep up with that so-called momentum that we had against Frankfurt, and are we going to carry it on against Brentford? Truth be told, nothing of that sort happened, and we have fallen back to our old habits. Liverpool have lost their fourth consecutive game in the Premier League as reigning champions of England, and we lost against Brentford. Arguably, they played really well, and we lost by 3 goals to 2. Basically, this is another famous win for Brentford as well. Kudos to them for coming out of the blocks in the first 5 minutes itself, posing a threat to us. Brentford were very commanding in their attack, in the defense, and we couldn't really get out of the blocks easily. Even in the first 5 minutes, we conceded in the first 5 minutes, and it was a usual goal that we would concede. Even in the last 4 games that we have played, that is how we have been conceding goals, which is set piece, and also through these long balls in via throw in, for example. So that is what Brentford did. They capitalized against us with that long throw in, especially Coyote, who was absolutely brilliant for Brentford in the full 90 minutes. Tactically, we weren't even set up in a sense that we were able to defend these sort of counter-attacking plays from Brentford. Former players like Sepp Vandenberg, Jordan Henderson, even the goalkeeper, Cumin Kelleher, he was very commanding in his box. I don't know how else to put it, because it's not a good feeling, and it's not nice to see for a fact that a club like Liverpool, who won the Premier League last season, and sort of like the team that we've assembled, uh, you know, we had sort of like this Jurgen Klopp team that we had. Arne Slot inherited it. He made some tweaks in a sense that he brought in new players. I think that basically got the better of us. He made a few tweaks to the team, and to actually, you know, for the last 4 or 5 games that we have not just conceded but lost. But even though it could have been a narrow loss, or maybe, a loss is a loss, however you want to judge it. But then the way that we have been playing currently, it's just borderline, not just disgusting, but then it's just, we're just lacking basic fundamentals. Arne Slot just went on and selected the same bloody team that he selected prior to losing against Manchester United. From attack all the way to defense is just not good enough. Major questions need to be asked in terms of player selection by Arne Slot, and also the tactics that he's actually implementing into the squad when we enter into these types of games. We didn't see any improvement whatsoever. The fact that Arne Slot is actually select picking an out of form Mo Salah. I do not want to berate Salah too much, but then last season he was sort of like the reason where we were where we were. When you are in a slump and when you are an out of form player, the first thing that a manager does is to take him out of the firing line. He did that against Frankfurt. And then when we came to this game against Brentford, oh my god, Salah was nowhere to be seen. For the first half, he barely did anything. I was hitting on my head whenever I was seeing this left hand side of Liverpool, especially Kirkes and Gakpo. Correct me if I'm wrong, but for years to come in this Liverpool squad, I do not see in any shape or form a chemistry between Gakpo and Kirkes. And you can mark it, you can save it. I don't see Gakpo communicating with Kirkes whatsoever. Zero communication. There's nothing. But by God, Konati today was horrendous. I don't know whether if his mind is elsewhere Maybe it's for a fact that he feels that his heart is in another club, is in another place. Maybe he prefers to move to Madrid somewhat in the future, maybe next season. I don't see any real intent. And in the second half, that unwillingness to run back, to track back, when you're losing 2-1, to try to get back the game, at least come back and get a draw. There was no intent, nothing whatsoever. Salah on the other side just barely created anything except for the goal that he scored to bring us back somehow. But we were so poor, man. It was just very, very poor. As a Liverpool fan, if I'm being really honest, I have seen us be in even more worse situations than this before. And to see the signings that we've made, the titles that we've won, the Premier League that we won last season, and to see us play like this is just borderline unacceptable. We were just running like headless chickens because we didn't know what we were doing. And the defending was so bad, was so shoddy. Mamadashvili at goal. One thing that you Liverpool fans need to understand is Mamadashvili is not Alisson. He's not a regen of Alisson. He's never going to be an Alisson. He's just a new keeper that has come in who has full of potential, who has massive potential, but he still needs a lot of working on. It's just a sad watch to see a team who won the Premier League last season to actually play like this. Are we able to break this slump? Because it was a blip and it's now become a slump, and then from then on it will become a crisis. So let me know what you guys think. Are Liverpool are in a blip? From a blip we are now into a slump, and are we going to go into crisis era? And do you guys even think that this is a season of transition, looking at the signings that we have made and the players that we have? But let me know what you guys think. Where do you think things have to change? Maybe should it be tactically? Should it be player profiles? Because looking at the list of fixtures that we have now, with games coming thick and fast, it's not going to be easy for us. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like all the contents that I've been putting on. Do definitely like this video on TikTok. I will see you guys very, very soon. Probably the game against Crystal Palace. And take care. And despite all of this, never forget that, we love this club, despite whatever is going. So you'll never walk alone. Take care and see you guys very soon.